I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Boom, we have begun. Oop. We have not begun. We've begun. Looks like Silvernagle will start with hammer. I can hear my own echo. I gotta kill that. There we go. My name is Rory McCusker. I am your commentator, live streamer, camera switcher person. That means this game is mine, all mine. Sometimes we have some qualified curlers and seasoned curling viewers to commentate today, but today you got me. Womp womp. For this A-side semifinal, two Prairie teams duking it out to see who will play the winner of Zhang and Yoshimura in an A qualifier here at the Hack2House Beaumont event that I don't know the official title of. The advantage to having me commentate and switch your cameras and bring you this game is I'm going to narrate a little bit of my process and how we bring these curling games to you. First step, we get all the cameras pointed at the right sheet. All the scoreboards assigned to the right sheets, but during that hustle and bustle, it's tough to pay attention to practice and see who exactly gets hammer. So that is usually step one. Selecting the right end is step two. And it will be Silvernagle. See if we can get that scoreboard updated. There we go. No on-ice audio for this event. Our microphone we use in Beaumont is having some issues. We couldn't quite get it fixed. So none of that super soothing sound of the ice in your ears. I could fall asleep to that. Just the echoey sound of a curling rink, rocks sliding down the sheet, rocks colliding, sweep calls being made in 2 to 5 different languages, depending on the event. I know it is very, very soothing, but apologies. We do not have that feature working today. But that's all right. We can just imagine it. Sounds about the same everywhere. A delightful first end brewing up here. Gotta love a guard in the first end. So we can get right into it here. Should be the seconds first stone, but looks like we got Silvernagle playing with 3. It's going to be Christy Moore delivering this one. She does get the double. Ooh, not quite, it would seem. So tough to declare an advantage here. Got to think Silvernagle with a rock in the house, with a few rocks up front, has control of this one. But as we know, the team without hammer is A-okay with junk in the middle. All it takes is one stone. Have the dreams of a steel stay alive. Oh, I guess I haven't introduced myself formally. My name is Rory McCusker. I have worked with Curling Stadium from the very beginning. Back when we had 2 clubs with cameras in them, Swift Current, Saskatchewan, Martinsville, Saskatchewan. And since then, as you know, we have spread far and wide, bringing you top-end tour curling from across the continent, as well as Curling Stadium Europe in Scotland, based in Scotland. Days of hitting refresh on Curling Zone, waiting for line scores to update are gone. Now we have our multi-screens going. As many different curling games as we can possibly fit on our laptop or iPad or cell phone screen. Clubs across Canada, North America, and I would suppose the world having to figure out how to use their Roku TVs and Amazon Fire Sticks to get these YouTube games up on in the lounge, or as they say in the States, the warm room. Four rocks gone per team. And even though there was a pregame practice, nice kind of tricking the teams. Feels a little heavier than they want it to be, or than they were expecting it to be. Looks like we got Jesse Hunkin in the house. Delivering this stone, Danielle Schmiemann. Curling Stadium is the official broadcasting production partner, not sure how to describe it, of the Alberta Scotties. So the last few years, we've had the pleasure of covering in depth the Alberta Scotties, broadcasting every sheet, every rock from every game. So I've been able to follow the Sturmay team quite closely, as well as certain elements of this Silvernagle team, formerly Team Scheidegger, Christy Moore and Jesse Hawken. Is that how you say your last name? I'm not sure. I've never heard it said before. Looks like a curl for kids end here, just banging away the guards that were previously put up. A little light. Well, there's only one thing to do when you got the Great Wall of China in front of the house. Just got to bang ahead. Whatever you think you can promote into the rings. Like I said, it looks a little ugly for Team Sturmay right now, but when you don't have hammer and there's one drop path into the house and the 4 foot is available, that's all you need. So looks like, let's get a little end-to-end action going here. Yeah. A little double and roll. This doesn't have too much steam on it. We'll see what they're trying to do here. Gets one, doesn't get the other, leaves it right around that 4 foot line. Getting a bit to the point where you're running out of time to get a rock in the 4 foot. I bet they were hoping to roll that shooter a little off, leave it available for promotion later. Now, yeah, some aggressive ice here. ask Jesse to draw one through the hole, it would seem. Tough shot, but it's going to be even tougher to follow. So if they can make this, lie 3, looking pretty good for Team Silvernagle. Some nice cameras we have here in Beaumont. This is the 4K version of our home and away cameras. The overhead's looking really nice as well. Every year getting a little bit better. Got those ultra wide lenses on these cameras as well. Beaumont being one of our newer installs at Curling Stadium. Really clear images. You can see the light reflecting off the ice. That means the focus is just right. And with those ultra wide lenses, we can see more of the guard zone than in previous years. So constant improvement here at Curling Stadium. And we only had to charge you, the viewer, a little more money to, oh, wait, that's right. This is streaming absolutely for free on YouTube, just like all of our tour events. You don't pay a penny, folks. How cool is that? Yes, you have to watch some ads between ends, but those are local sponsors, supporters of curling, and they deserve our care, attention, and business. So please, if you enjoy free curling on YouTube, the very best thing you can do is like, comment, share the videos and help our page grow. That's number 1. Number 2 would be go ahead and research some of these sponsors that support the sport that we love. Consider giving them your business. I'm sure, you know, it's always a difficult decision of where to give your money, but paying a little extra or going a little out of the way to find those local companies that don't quite have the big budgets as of the big box stores can really it's a closed loop. It's a good system. We can all support each other by supporting those that support curling. Back to the game. Sturmay still trying to bang their way into creating a draw path. Hasn't quite worked out. Those red rocks, as we can see from the overhead, it's just a wall. There's not an easy way in. That being said, Team Silvernagle doesn't quite have that magic stone, that really good one that they know is going to be at least their single point for the end. Got those 2 in the 12-foot. With only 1 rock to come from Sturmay. So they're just looking at any kind of saver shot that Team Sturmay might have. Right now, with the way that the ice is curling, which is quite a bit, it's 6, maybe even 6.5 feet of curl in some spots. I don't think that out-turn draw path is there. That red guard, that red corner guard, the stagger, it's just a little bit high. The rock will be coming sideways by the time it wants to get through that port. So no real easy way in. They were looking at, Team Silvernagle was looking at the in-turn tap that Sturmay might have. Ooh, I wonder if they're contacting their own stone along the center line there. Seems a bit like a video game shot where you're trying to make two for 1 here. If they could ever bang their guards over to defend the tap, the in-turn tap, all while spilling their own guard into the rings to lie 3, wouldn't that be something? Jesse Hunkins first skip stone here in the first end. And they have went right to it, to the delight of myself, and I'm sure our audience. Big set back to the broom, which is what you need to do to make shots on this ice. Tap, tap. Oof. Really pushes their own stone over. I guess the main purpose of that shot was to split reds into the rings. I guess they weren't too worried about defending the tap, like I was suggesting. I think you got to call that a success. That's 4 red rocks in the rings with hammer and no clear path into the house. Even if Sturmay is able to make that in-turn kind of corner tap, there will be a run back. I know some commentators attempt to suggest shots and analyze. I don't know. I don't think I'm smart enough for that. I just try to bring you, the audience, what I see and give you some inside scoops on the teams. Both these teams are 1-1. Looks like Silvernagle's first game came against Phillips. They beat them handily. Sturmay played Sexsmith. That's another Alberta team. That was another easy victory for them, according to the line score. Not that I watched the game or anything. Like I had mentioned, Silvernagle playing with 3. Not sure where Robyn is this weekend. Perhaps someone on the chat could update us on Robyn's whereabouts. Huge shot here for Selena Sturmay. If they were trying a tap on the guard, it is not even close to getting there. Ooh, a little tick. Holy mackerel. What a saver. That's unreal. It's going to roll in for shot. Totally buried. Wow, wow, wow. How lucky is that? Not out of the woods. I still see a shot for 5. Team Silvernagle lying 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 right now. Way out to the boards. It's a short slash, but they need to hit most of what they can see. I think a half stone is as thin as they could get it. And here it is, a thrilling first end. Last rock for Jesse Hunkin. Huge payoff if they can make it. You can see the body language of Selena Sturmay off in the corner, just thinking to herself, well, we either have a game here or it's pretty much over in the first end with this shot right here. Big one from Hunkin. One sweeper, Christy Moore taking the inside path. Light clean. Now she's going for it. And they rick the guard. What an incredible first end. It's going to be a steal of 1 for Team Sturmay. That's one to watch back. Bookmark that end, coaches. Show that to your junior team. 1-0 Sturmay into the second end.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget the brooms.
Yep, you got it. Come on up. What do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
We are back. You can tell your kids you were there. You were there when Sturmay ticked her own guard, rolled, buried, and Jesse Hunkin could not pick it out. They were facing a potential 5 in the first end. You know what's so crazy about that is we're watching the game. Other people at home or who might be at work or whatever would be checking the score line and they'd say, oh, look, steal a 1 from Sturmay. Okay, that's good. They would have no idea how that shook down. But us, we know exactly what happened. Pretty wild first end. But the scoreboard only says 1. I was so in shock I didn't get my rocks reset for the next end here. Good brush, puts that corner guard in a nice position. The thought with a corner guard is that you set it wide enough that there's still a draw path to the button or the forefoot, but on this ice, that's hard to achieve, especially if it's higher than halfway. That's always going to be in the way of a comfortable draw. We see how that rock was set way out to the side of the 12-foot. And on some ice, we'd say, oh no, it's going to crash the corner guard. But as you can see, it is just warping over. So let's keep track of this. So it misses the corner by about, let's say almost a rock length. Still gets back to center line. So that would tell us that the button draw path is still probably open. But if you ever needed the side of the button on the left-hand side, as we see it there, that corner guard would still be in the way. So I think my whole point with that rant is that ice this swingy kind of throws away the old first 4 rock sort of mentalities. Corner guard is still going to be in your draw path is the point. This one is swooping hard. Might have a little too much weight as well. Pokes out the other side, a full rock length. Oh, nearly. So managing that super curly ice, it's become a necessary skill for these top teams as more and more clubs treat their rocks and treat their ice, trying to replicate championship conditions. In my personal opinion, I think they've overdone it just a little bit. Too much curl out there in this humble commentator's opinion. We see at the Brier and Scotties and world competitions, yes, there's lots of curl, but it's a gradual and easy, predictable curl. Not so much of this extreme grinding that the rocks seem to do. Very early break points. But what do I know? Desiree's got a little smoother sort of pop here. It's not warping quite as hard. But maybe it's just heavy. It is. Goes right through the rings. Geez, more and more I'm missing that on ice audio. Hearing the kind of drone of the games. One other game being broadcast on Curling Zone right now. Another A semi. If you haven't figured out how to launch multiple windows yet, it's okay. I forgive you. Here's a little tip for people at home. If you're watching on your laptop, just click and drag your window to the right side or left side of the screen all the way over, and the window will automatically snap into half the screen. Then you go ahead and open another browser window. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So if you've dragged to the right the first time, you drag this one to the left. Boom, you've got 2 curling games going. If there's commentary on multiple games, the little speaker icon in the bottom left of the screen, that's how you toggle audio on and off. I love how free curling live on YouTube has kind of sparked a technological intelligence revolution in the curling community. I know people like my grandmother and some of my uncles absolutely flat out refused how to use their computers and devices, but now that they got curling to watch, well, I guess I got to learn. Don't be afraid to ask in the chat. That's the box below the screen. Hey, how do I do this? And I'm sure a friendly curling fan will gladly help you out. Okay, another interesting end, some misses from the front end. It's going to result in a situation that's just not going to go away. So we are peeling the center guard, but those rocks at the back, someone's going to score this end. Very unlikely for there to be a blank. This is looking pretty stuffy. Oh, she's going to get it on the other side. It is September. I myself have barely hit the ice. No need to be too critical of the teams and players. Very, very early season. Used to be preseason this time of year. Not anymore. The competitive circuit has crept up and up and up. There's not so much room for it to grow at the end of the year after the championship season is through. Even that last Grand Slam in Toronto, the Players' Championship, teams have kind of started to check out at that point. So really the only direction for the season to increase is into fall and summer. And that is what we have seen year after year, is more and more events in early October, September, creeping into August even, especially if you look at the European circuit. Like I said, my name is Rory McCusker. I'm a huge curling fan, and I work nearly full time for Sportsnet and Curling Stadium. Curling is my life. So let's make it fun, folks. If you want to chime in the chat, that's that box below the YouTube screen. Let me know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, if you have any connection to these teams, and if you have any information to share, any fun stuff about Team Sturmay, Team Silvernagle, this tournament, this club, anything. Let's have some fun in the chat. That's the difference between watching on TV and watching on the internet, is you get to participate. Fun little tip as well, little tech tip. If you're watching on a smart TV and you can't really close the screen to open the chat, hop on your cell phone. Hop on the stream on your cell phone. Use that as your kind of commenting device, and keep your smart TV, full screen the way you want to. Lots of different ways that we can make this a little more interactive and fun for everyone. Going for a hit and roll. Ends up getting it quite thin over curls. Seems to be a theme this game. Team's not quite catching on to how aggressive the cut of these rocks are. Making this rock go away is gonna set up a decent looking force. Team Sturmay will gladly pretend that first end never even happened. Little force to one here is gonna wrestle hammer back in their favor. And that's what they will do. Got nearly 100 viewers here. 90 viewers over on the Tabata versus Cameron game. We are so glad to have you with us. A little bit of a better throw there from Jesse. It kept that rock straighter, truer down the ice. A little easier to manage the sweep that way. Had some more rotation. So we can see the teams adjusting here. Selena eager to forget the disaster that was that first end. Likely pretty thankful she's got an open hit and stick shot for her first one here. That'll help her shake off that first end. Just pop on that throw. Ah, there we go. Good chance to fix it there. A little fix it shot. So the force is on. And Jesse's thinking, why not make a freeze and see if we can gather a deuce. Open ends like this, it's never really over till it's over. There's always a chance at two. As long as you got two rocks left. It's something to either freeze two or hide behind. So she's got plenty of that. Big brush here to get shot rock even. Definitely don't want to leave the opponent shot here. How far did they drag it? Looks like second at best. It's a bit of a decision. Yeah, I love this. You can see Sturmay tapping the forefoot. I like this a lot. Why not put the pressure on? You already have shot rock, especially if they think they're shot 2. There's no reason to move that redstone. May as well shrink that forefoot. Get a little half tuck. Little discussion with the sweepers. This is an important shot. Doubt Silvernagle would take on any kind of run double for 2, but they have to be wary of that. Sweeper signaling it's down. It looks like it's got a curl as well, so they're waiting for this to work. Oh, they were signaling something. I guess I don't know for sure if they were saying it was down. I saw Desiree kind of waving her hands downward. Maybe she's saying it's gotta slow down. So now they better hope that they are shot 2, because if not, it's gonna be a pretty easy tap back. 2. With that ice though, it looks like it's just a pure draw. Oh, actually, I don't know. Even taking ice in the middle of the 12-foot for draws to the button. This seems to be edge of 8. Maybe they are going for a little tap back. Could be the type of thing where they're just icing for backing. That's one of the things about those ultra-wide camera lenses. Here, I'll show you again. We get more of the guard zone, but it sort of warps the back of the rings. You can see the kind of T-line sort of warping. We'll watch Jesse shoot. I'll bring it back. You can see the T-line kind of bent. That's an effect of the sort of wide-angle lens on the camera, so can't have it all. Yeah, looks like they're going to use the backing. That's what the ice was for. Mystery solved. And you got to think that's a 1 point for Team Silvernagle. They're going to tie things up. Pretty ferocious start. Lots of rocks in play. I think we got a good game in front of us, people. It'll be Sturmay with the hammer when we return. We seem to be back. Well, that's just in time, isn't it? Looks like we've barely missed a thing. Woohoo! Looking like an open hit for 2 here in the third end. I think so. I think that's what we got. Selena Sturmay. Sweeping hard to hold it. Will this stick around? Rolls out. An unintentional 1 point. Selena just not super sharp from what we've seen so far. They will have a 2-1 lead going into the fourth. We'll see if they can pick it up then.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
Boom, there we go. So this angle, folks, means the on-ice audio is back. Woohoo! Gotta love it. It's 2-1 lead for Team Sturmay. Could have been a 3-1 lead. We back. Once again, we back. Seems to be getting better. Just in time for the thirds, final stones. We back, we back, we back. Like that terrible country song. Okay, things seem to have calmed down a little bit after the torrid start to this game. First two ends, pretty crazy. First end was almost a massive score of 5. Jessie Hunkin just overcurled on her short run back attempt. Before that, it was Hunkin lying 4. Selena Sturmay missing her tap back, but luckily ticking the shooter to the side of the house. That ended up being a steal. Second end. fairly well-deserved force. Tied things up. Third end. Selena Sturmay over curls on her hit and stick for 2. Rolls out of the ring. Yes! It's time for Tim's. Oh, we've barely missed a beat. We've barely missed a thing. What do we got here? Ooh, Silvernagle line 1. Geez, that is a ton of ice. I wonder if it'll curl 7 feet over to the other side of the 8 foot. That would be pretty wild. Looks like that's what they're doing though. Unless they're intentionally leaving this one kind of wide open, you got to think the perfect spot for this rock would be top 8, kind of half buried. Look at that move. That's pretty incredible to watch. Ah, they're coming to the back one. Yeah, that's why they're out there and I'm sitting at home. Yeah, you got to think up 1. It's very likely that Silvernagle's going to have a shot at 2. So, just give it to her. The only way to save this end would be like a perfect corner freeze on the side there. And really, you wouldn't even be able to get frozen. So there's going to be a shot for 2 no matter what. You just got to just make this go away. Little bonus would be staying shot rock and, making Sturmay hit and stick. She's missed one before. She missed one last end, actually. So nothing wrong with that. Oh. If I could keep track of who's throwing what. Hit and stick here for Sturmay. That's going already. Just watching the center line. So much bite. It's incredible. Puts it out the back. That's a good shot. Sticks there for shot rock. And now it's Jesse Hunkin who will have to hit and stick for 2. Looks like she's just deciding if she can get away with an out turn. Gotta think there's room by that guard for sure. Especially the way that Jessie throws it. A lot more kind of zip back at the broom. Last rock here in 4. Good thing they're dallying a little bit, playing a little slow with these internet outages. We've been able to watch the last rock of every end so far. Waiting for this to curl up. I'm sure it will. There it is. Hits, stays, 2 points. It is now Team Silvernagle with a 1-point lead. Into the 4th end break. We've kind of been in and out, but we got a very exciting finish ahead of us, I'm sure.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Well, I could filibuster here as the teams take their break, but I don't think that'd be of any use to anyone. So let's support more of these businesses that choose to support curling.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
Just in time, we are back for the 5th end. A little bit of a 4th end break for the ladies here. Little center guard. Could be a repeat of end number 1. We can only hope so. Boy, was that exciting. If you've just tuned into the stream for the first time, do yourself a favor, zap back to the first end of play and catch yourself up on the tone that the first 2 ends of this game have had. It has been pretty incredible. Center guard followed by corner guard. That's, if we're looking for some exciting curling, that's what we like to see. Almost guarantees there's going to be some action. Taking the intern path around the here, slightly confusing. I mean, I guess you're hoping if there's going to be any miss, it's ticking the corner. I just don't know why they wouldn't take the open side, but you know, oftentimes when I'm confused like this, the teams show me right away just why they were doing it that way. They're almost always on the right mindset. So here we go. Are we going to have a little corner guard tick? It will get by. And settles in. Perfect top button. That's a tremendous pair. Perfect end from Christy Moore. Draw around the corner to answer. Comes a little deep. Nice and buried though with hammer. There's nothing too wrong with that, especially when the answer call is a draw around the center once again. Christy Moore, this is the advantage of playing with 3. She nailed her first draw. She gets an opportunity to get in the hack and throw the exact same thing. This one, is going to chip. And chips her own center guard. Luckily, those rocks kind of flatten out. There is no port through the middle. That was not the call, but it's an okay result. Making me feel like I was onto something a little bit when I was wondering why we were going intern side for that draw. You had the whole outturn side of the sheet to use. A little confusing. Now this run back is going to roll. The shooter will roll in a favorable spot. If the center guard and rock on the button were dead straight on, you'd risk leaving your shooter up front. Now this time, gonna get 1 and rolls right off. Nothing wrong with that result. Sealing up the middle. Things are looking pretty forcey steely for Silvernagle. There's more than enough opportunity to get out of this. 5 rocks remaining for Team Sturmay. I think if you get a thin half here, or maybe a third 3 rocks move. That's going to be the ask for Desiree. Have to throw some steam. This has got some weight. Let's see if it turns out. Looking a little thick. Yeah, gets 1, gets 2. Jams the back one. That's not what you want. At least they leave the rings. And oddly enough, one of the guards spills into the edge of the 12-foot. So the force definitely looking in play. Well, you can throw 5 draws and guards in a row as a team without hammer. Usually means the end is going quite well. And that is what the case is here in the 5th for Team Silvernagle. Hoping that this slows down. Just over curls a little bit. See, on that one where you already had a guard on the outturn side, it's better to err kind of more on that center line side, because unless you leave a big hole, it's really going to do the job. So, especially with the way the ice curls, Sturmay could choose to make a hack weight or board weight sort of hit and roll on that rock in the 4-foot. And that is what they're going to do. I like to watch these shots from this split view because I like to see kind of where the broom is in comparison to the center line, how the shooter slides out if they kind of slide out down the center line and give it a pop back to the broom. And usually we can get a good sense of if they've sort of dumped this or popped this or how their release was. Okay, so sliding right on the broom. Just a little bit of a pop, nothing crazy. It's definitely floating way wider than the broom. But look at how hard this is coming back in. So from my eye, oh, they get it by. So I'm no expert, but from my eye, that looked like she slid a little wide, released it a little soft, and it really, really dove in. We see significantly less ice for Team Silvernagle. Let's watch how Jessie throws this in comparison to Danielle. Sliding much closer to the center line, poking that stone much more directly outwards towards the broom. And now we're going to see this red stone kind of hold true a little more than Danielle's did. There's that late finish, but I think I'm pretty justified in saying that Jessie had much more of an inside-out throw than Danielle did, and the profound difference on the rock was pretty noticeable. Now, to be fair, Jessie had much more weight, so that's going to keep it a little straighter, but advantage Team Sturmay, most definitely. Got a chance to sit. Got a chance to sit 2 behind cover here. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. It's rolling in towards the center line. Even if you make a perfect roll, Silvernagle is going to be able to make a freeze, and then all of a sudden, kind of the force end is back on. So yes, you're defending yourself, but with the amount of curl on the ice, freeze is really just a weight shot. Like, it's not that difficult to make a freeze on the top of the button. So hitting and rolling outwards, while it does kind of leave that 45-degree angle, double chance, I think you maintain control of the 4-foot a little better. rather you're not giving your opponent an opportunity to make a frozen stone in the forefoot. So that hit and roll out is what I'd be thinking pretty hard about. But, you know, both shots are there. It just depends what you think your opponent's going to do, what you want to leave for your opponent, and how badly you want to score 2 right now. Danielle with her second stone. That one, you can see the way it got back towards the center line. She gave that a little more out-turn flick, a little more of a pop. This looks really close. Oh, they're not going to lose it on sweeping, are they? They do. Underswept. Kind of worst of both worlds there. Silvernagle's going to be able to hit and roll or take on a double. It's whatever they choose. So made both of Silvernagle's shots easier by leaving shot rock in the open there. And with ice this curly, folks, I cannot tell what they're going to do just based on the ice alone. That could easily be hit and roll ice or big weight double ice. No way to tell. Trying to hold it for the double takeout. Just barely do. Good scrub by Christy Moore. And I had forgotten about that biter in the top 12. That's the right call for sure. Now we have 2 red stones. If Sturmay is going to score 2, it's got to be with these very 2 stones. Draw around the guard. Looks deep. Not super sharp from Selena today, from what we've seen. Last shot for Jesse Hunkin, Team Silvernagle. Since Sturmay has come deep, the door is now open to make a good one of her own and force a really tough draw to the button. Christy not touching this one yet. Hoping it slows down, it looks like. And this is coming deep as well. Nearly the same weight as Selena. So that path, tricking both skips. I'm a full 6 feet deep. Where they were intending on throwing that. It's going to be a fairly open draw to the forefoot to bite the 4. For a single point to tie this game up. Selena gets to repeat draw path she just threw. Always a good thing. Sweepers like it. This looks pretty good. That's a great adjustment. Selena Sturmay, she's going to pick up her single point. It's a tie game headed into the 6th end. Silvernagle will have hammer.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it. Yellow.
Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
Here we are. We're back. It's the all-important 6th end. I say all-important because if you look at the analytics of a curling end, whoever scores in the 6th, even if it's a single point, really swings the winning percentage in their favor. Sometimes as much as, from below 50 to up to 75%. If you're wondering what numbers I'm pulling out of my you-know-what here, go to curlingzone.com, click the analytics page. It's one of the top options on the top bar of Curling Zone. And that's going to show you all sorts of winning percentages based on previous tour seasons. This is public information. Very important public information. I highly encourage anyone who has not checked that page out to go check her out. We've went in and out of this stream a few times. There's been some up and down, some new viewers. May as well reintroduce myself. My name is Rory McCusker. I've been streaming with Curling Stadium since the very beginning. Back in It was 2021, the COVID year. Might have even been 2020, right when people got back on the ice that fall. I also worked for Sportsnet Grand Slam of Curling, on and off for about 10 years. And curling is my life, as I'm sure a lot of it is for a lot of you out there. And it's never been a better time to be a curling nut with all of these free YouTube streams on Curling Zone's YouTube page. So we've got a high center guard. Looked like an open draw, kind of came deep. Paige is going to put her two guards right in line. Good double center guard kind of scenario. Team Sturmay very aware of the numbers that I was saying earlier, of how important it is to score in the sixth end. So they'll be going hard for the steal. Things are going pretty good for Team Sturmay. You've got two, what I would call misses from Silvernagle to start things off. Odd, because Christie's draw weight has been quite good so far. Bit of a blip. Could be dealing with some different conditions coming home versus going away. That's pretty common in curling rinks, especially early in the season like this. This looks like it's got to move quite a bit. I'm sure it will. Really nice draw, well swept. Came a little deep, I suppose we could say. But it's going to be more than good enough for Silvernagle's team to address some guards here. Interesting, indicating a slash into the red. You don't want to get too cute with that. Stuffing that yellow into the red is definitely not the way to miss. Let's watch this from the split screen, see how Christy Moore throws it. Sliding right down the center line, kind of flips it with her wrist back at the broom. Looks pretty good. Can they hold the line? Gets the yellow into the red. You know, I think that rolls off enough that we could call it a success. They definitely wouldn't want that Yellowstone sticking anywhere closer to the center line than that. Yeah, even there might be a bit of a danger. Again, things are looking pretty good for the team without Hammer. That's 2 ends in a row. First Silvernagle in the 5th, and now Team Sturmay in the 6th. Good steal brewing here. This one is curling harder and earlier. You got to think this is a little light and was probably let go a little inside. Sweepers get it by. Not light, it's just curling really, really hard. Okay, nothing wrong with that. If that sticks out any further, there might be a double, but, you know, even though a little bit of an overcurl there, still successful. Successful layer in the center line dance that is stealing. From Desiree. Here's a bomb. This is looking like it's going to make something move. Gets 1, 2, 3 rocks moving. There it is. Bing, bang, boom. Excellent shot. End saving shot. What an answer. That is the problem with lining your rocks up all in a line like that. As soon as the second or third on the other team makes that big run back, end is totally flipped. So doesn't come without risk, throwing center guards and burying rocks directly behind them. Always one shot away from it going boom. And that's what happened there. I guess that's also the cost of over curling on Desiree's second rock there. Gave more of an angle, more of an easier angle for those rocks to all leave the rings. But center guard is still there. Belongs to the other team now, but Team Sturmay is going to use it. Geez, Danielle kind of gets outside in on that again. This is curling super hard. We saw that in the fifth end as well. Still in September, you know, people's slides are not exactly where they want them to be. I'm just seeing Sturmay's team not throwing in a more kind of straight, consistent way compared to Silvernagle's team. You can definitely see the team in black getting that release hard and direct outwards to the broom, which on this super swingy ice is what you have to do. Sturmay's team definitely guilty of some. Well, I'm not going to analyze their slide, I guess, but just that rock is curling a lot harder, a lot earlier than Team Silvernagle. One guard, two guards, stuffs the yellow. That is not a good result. Would have been much better just to get rid of the one center guard. Instead, they decided to go for the double peel. Tie game in the sixth end with hammer. And that is definitely not a good result. May have got a little greedy with that call. The double peel would have been a bonus, you got to think. Way more important just to get that yellow out of there. There we go. That's a better release from Danielle. You could see it from here. Much better set on the stone. Settles in perfectly. Top four, really easy to manage with the sweep as well. So that's a good correction from Danielle. See if we can track this from the overhead. Single peel. Stays safe. Resetting the guard here, Selena Sturmay. Line, so important. Jeez, this is such a tough shot on ice like this. Just hoping it settles directly in front of your own rock. Good snap, good rotation. Let's see if the sweepers can manage this stone and have it sit right on top. They're gunning this hard. I'm almost thinking this is a plan B kind of thing. Oh no, just trying to get some late finish. There's that sideways knifing broom. Yeah, and it's gonna cover the correct side of the stone. That's an okay spot. If you're ever gonna miss that guard, it would be on the center line side. So I wouldn't even call that a miss. I think that's a made shot. Gonna be tough to attack that yellow stone without jamming it. Just kind of deciding whether they want to leave things as is or if they want to try to continue what they've been doing all end, which is clean up the front, just make sure they score one. And I think they've made the right choice here. This is what they've been gunning for since the first rock of the end. So. Getting a little laggy here. Hopefully the stream can hang on. Big weight from Jesse Hunkin. Gonna get one, gonna get two. Beautiful shot from Jesse. She is on. Last rock of the end for Team Sturmay. Objective 1 is hit, objective 2 is stick, and maybe if they can get a really perfect roll, make the blank a little harder for Silvernagle. Mission 1 and 2, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say mission accomplished. Every commentator says mission accomplished. Objective 1 and objective 2 were both achieved. The roll for objective 3, pretty tall ask. Okay, I have lost my overhead. No more overhead on the home side. We'll have to use our imagination. Would have been a really perfect roll if they could have taken that 3 feet over. Don't want to play with that too much. Got to make Jesse throw this rock, this last rock of the 6th end. Geez, that really curled up. But there's enough rotation and weight on that stone that it will cascade out of the rings. That is a blank end. It's still a tie game. Going into the 7th, Silvernagle hangs on to hammer.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
We're back, 7th end. All comes down to this. A kind of slower game today. I have found, this is after my, what season would this be? 24, 25, 4th or 5th season covering curling on the tour level. The games are getting slower and slower. Used to be when a game took 2.5 hours, everyone in the room was like, oh my goodness, like could they hurry up? Like, you're taking so long. Now it seems 2.5 hours is about the average, about the standard for an 8-end tour curling game. I remember my longest game I ever did was like 2 hours and 47 minutes. And then last year I had at least a half dozen over 3 hours long. 3 hours long for 8 ends of curling. But what can you do? Besides, of course, clock them, which would require extra volunteers, extra equipment, all sorts of extra stuff. So no such luck. Longer games are now the norm. And I mean, to make a counterpoint, that's understandable. The game is more complex than it used to be. The ends are messier. There's much more draws being thrown. The thinking time is definitely way up. Players are taking longer in the hack. They're going through a longer pre-shot routine. It's not just skips anymore that kind of take that extra second. It's all sorts of players have their kind of pre-shot lineup. Just to spite my point, Christy Moore gets in the hack and just rockets out. That's a good lead move. Not thinking, just throwing. Love it. Okay, first 4 rocks of the end are down. Christy's draw weight seems to have kind of left her for a few ends now. That second rock is in a fine spot with hammer. Paige Papley's guards, yeah, a little high, just like last end. A little close together, just like last end, but the line's good. They're in a row, but both teams kind of having trouble finding that right ice, the right way to throw to have their rock end up where they need it. My buddies Matt Ring, Sam Wills play on Team Kaltoff. Just finished the men's event in Beaumont last weekend, and they were telling me that it was extremely swingy. Curly ice was kind of tough to stay on top of. So I believe those guys, especially when I see what's been happening so far this game. Team Sturmay, they've got 3 rocks in a line. That's the goal. 5 rocks down the ice. Christy is going to peel this stone. Taking an extra second here, discussing things with her sweeper. It's a big shot. If they can get rid of 2 guards here, that's going to go a long way in making sure that they can either blank or score this end. A little bit of an inside-out throw. Doesn't quite get to the broom. She will make 2 guards go away. Leaves her shooter up out front. I don't think that's more than a 50% result. So, Team Sturmay going to reset things on the left side of the sheet this time. Call was a guard. This is coming way deep. Especially with the guard being a red guard. That's not a good result. Not a good result behind the T line. That's going to play into Silvernagle's hand. In the 7th end, it's not so good to score 1. If you're going to score, you definitely want it to be multiples. So that's it's going to be game on for Team Sturmay here. Sorry, Team Silvernagle. Doesn't quite get the roll, but that's okay. Keeping play along this wing here is the objective. Silvernagle line 2. A center-ish guard. It's got their color on it. Going to be up to Team Sturmay to make some good hit and rolls. This will be a double takeout. Curling in nicely. Gets 1, gets 2. Right out the rings. That's a great comeback. Danielle Schmiemann keeping her team in the conversation here in the 7th end. Great roll, brings things back to the 4-foot. Hit and roll behind the other yellow. That's definitely an option. This is curling a lot. You got to wonder if this picked. The body language would suggest that yes, that grabbed something. Kind of interesting to where it tapped. I mean, that stone may end up counting. So not a total loss, but really that's a good enough stone to steal with. So Sturmay is going to be pretty happy with that result. They're going to be able to make that guard that was asked for earlier in the end. Just kind of got it in the opposite order. First a draw, then a guard. On the outturn side, we haven't seen much down here. This is curling really hard. I wonder if Danielle got kind of outside in on that again. Technically, it is protecting their stone, but they would have really liked that to be a little closer to the center line and prevent a kind of draw tap. I think Silvernagle team can use that same outturn and come and tap and get shot rocked themselves. So, oh, it's good enough. That's always a bit of a relief when you don't put a guard exactly where you want to, and you kind of think to yourself, "Oh no, did I just open the door for the other team?" Watching them go ahead and peel it anyway, that thought in your head's like, okay, well, at least the thing that we wanted to force them into doing is happening. So Jesse's got a better throw here. Little thin, but gets the guard. And now here it is, skip stones in the 7th end. Been a little up, down, left, right for Selena's draws today. She'd love to get it settled here before the 8th and final end in this tie game. Anyone's game. A semifinal. Line looks good. Trying to get some finish. Weight looks nice. And that's pretty damn perfect. Right where they want it. Jessie has been throwing these really well. Just last end, she made a run back into an opponent stone into another opponent stone in the 4-foot. Made it perfectly. Both of them rolled out. She'll line the same thing up here. Gets one, smashes the other. Jessie Hunkin, a machine. She keeps lining them up and knocking them down. That is impressive. One rock left. Currently shot rock. I don't think there's much to really figure out here. There's not really a good way to steal a point. Like, I think line 2, forcing Jessie Hunkin to shoot against 2. That's as good as you're going to do. So I'm not sure if there's a place you can put this that's going to both deny Jessie's path to the 4-foot and lie 2 without leaving a hit and roll or a double. An option is certainly just take away that center line drop path. You could definitely just lay a guard, a low guard right on the center line, maybe a little left of center. Force Jessie Hunkin to draw way out in the wing. I think a force here is almost a goal. So this is ice to, they were tapping kind of top 8-ish. We'll see what they end up doing. You can see Christy Moore walking down with this stone. Got a time on it. Trying to make sure she's staying on top of draw weight, knowing that next rock that's coming down is going to be a draw for her team. Trying to get some late finish here. Don't want to leave an easy hit and roll. And there we go. That's right where they tapped it. That's right where they wanted it. Yeah, going to be a pretty tight draw if they choose to come down the middle here. That's a great shot. Yes, if anything, they may have wanted it a touch deeper, but yeah, you don't want to leave a hit and roll for such a good hitter like Jesse Hunkin is. Really no right or wrong answer here. It's whatever Jessie sees. However she thinks she's going to get a rock in there for their single point. It's a big point. Got to think if you're giving up a steal of 1, you're basically giving up a steal of 2 here. There is no room for error. You're either hitting the 8-foot or you're not. Huge shot. Team Silvernagle. Last rock, 7th end. Looking to kind of chap off that stone, it looks like. Jessie doesn't want to play the wide draw. She's going to play a sort of soft weight hit and roll. This is curling pretty hard. She's going to get 1 out of there. Will she roll for her single? She does. All right, well thought out. Fairly low risk shot. I mean, at least if they get 1 out of there, they only get the steal 1, but it's not. It is a point. Team Silvernagle, they will carry the slim advantage. Heading into the 8th and final end, it will be Team Sturmay with last rock looking to score 2. Take a victory here in Beaumont.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
There it is. Beaumont Curling Club. Looks like our wide shot and arena microphone is back up. 3 games still on the ice, including ours. Sturmay, Team Silvernagle, skipped by Jesse Hunkin. Was a single point in the 7th end. Team Silvernagle after a blank in the 6th. It's going to lead us to this 8th end. Down 1 with hammer. your classic curling last end scenario. Should result in a fun end because the team with hammer will be going hard for 2. Not really satisfied with a single point here, going into an extra end without. Christie kind of resetting here. Not sure what we got going. Well, this is the problem with being the only commentator. I've got no one to chat with about what they might be considering here. That center guard is not very good. If your goal is to cut off the button in the forefoot and that kind of thing, I think you got to throw another one. The other thought is Team Sturmay did not throw a guard. They've come right in. So if you hit that stone, Sturmay's only got one more guard left to throw if they choose to throw it. So at that point, you could play for a force, bang out the end, go to extra with hammer. So it is a pretty big choice right now of what path you want to go down. You want to keep things fairly clean, not give Team Sturmay much to work with, or do you want to go with your original plan, throw a center guard, and make that plan happen? I understand the need to kind of think that one through. Looks like they will take advantage of the first stone being in the rings and available to hit. And I can understand that temptation for sure. This is curling really hard. You do not want to tick your own guard. Unless, of course, you tick it right onto the center line. So another really weird result from a miss. We have seen, like, I can remember 3. I can remember that one, and then 2 in the first end. And I'm sure there's been a lot more that I'm not remembering. It has been a bit of a wacky one here, folks. Not super well executed game, to be totally honest. But I feel for these teams. This is tough ice. This is really tough ice with the amount of curl and the rocks, the way that they're biting. So now it will be a corner guard, kind of reverse, little Uno reverse in this 8th end here. Looks like this really has to move. Interesting no tick kind of thing. Now that red rock's on the center line, I don't think you can touch it. Almost hog. Oh, they will not get it over. That's another miss. And now, in my opinion, there's really nothing to think about. You got to hit this yellow rock. Really good would be hit and roll behind your own guard. That'd be optimal. Get both shots in at once. It's okay that you're behind the tee line. Still drawing play to the middle, to that button forefoot area. Christie flips this out a little bit, but that's okay. The main thing is to hit that rock. I have a situation here where Silvernagle is going to pretty much be playing for the extra end. And Team Sturmay is pretty accepting of that as well. Going to rip this center guard. Make sure that they at least have an opportunity to get 1 point and fight for another in the extra. Gets the center guard. Doesn't quite work out the way they wanted it to. Stuffs onto the back one. Once again, decisions need to be made. Staying true to that kind of original discussion that I suspect they had. They're going to split the rings here. Just do what they can to make sure that a force is the most likely outcome. I would have been maybe tempted to reset here, throw another center guard. No point in defending a blank. Team Sturmay doesn't get anything out of it. They lose the game if they blank it. So 2 rocks in the rings on either side of the 4-foot line. Yeah, not so sure about that one. Now we're going to see a guard from Team Sturmay as they sense an opportunity to build 2 points on one of those stones. Circle that decision if Sturmay ends up getting to this end. Silvernagle had a easy choice to keep things clean, make sure that they could throw hits to the end of the end and go to an extra with hammer. Right where the broom was tapped. Great execution. Nice and tight to the rings. That can be run back if needed. Yeah, they're going to peel this one. This is curling a lot. But it had enough weight, enough momentum, and rotation. Make the shot. Well executed. Gonna replace that rock. It's gonna come into the rings, no matter. We know Jesse Hunkin's gonna rip that thing. Boom, there's the half. Gets her own, but sticks around in the rings. Again, playing for the extra, Team Silvernagle. Ooh. No more guard coming right in to make a freeze now. Only 2 Silvernagle stones to come. So if they can get a stuffed hit where Yellow Rock remains, clean up with the Sturmay's next one, they might have a shot at 2. Which they'd be very interested in. No one wants to go to an extra without hammer. This is really heavy. Won't even hang on for second shot. That's going right through. Big miss there. Once again, Jesse Hunkin. A little bit of a choice. They will not be tempted. If they throw a center guard, it's likely Sturmay comes around it themselves, and with only 1 rock left to answer. Definitely want to keep risk to a minimum, as Team Silvernagle. For Team Silvernagle, they just want this end to be over. Go ahead, make your shot for 1. Let's get to the extra. We'll win it there. Really just thinking about how can we not hurt ourselves. What could we possibly do that's going to give them something to freeze to or tap or make our last shot more difficult. So as it stands right now, let's say they just whip this rock through the rings. Sturmay has a bit of like a freeze tap shot to get shot rock on the side of that red one in the 8-foot. Even then, you'd have a half rock hit to bail it out. So not even sure there's many good places you can put this. This is some weird ice. Where are they going with this? There was no tap in the rings. There wasn't a need for it. They were all in the rings talking about it. Looks like they're just tracking a spot in the ice. So, just like I said, whipping this through the rings. No danger, really, to deal with. Nowhere to hide, really, for Team Sturmay. Looks like a draw to the side of the 4-foot. Gonna hide behind. I like that shot. Tough to eliminate, tough to chase. Make a mistake here and there very well could be a shot for 2. Jesse, the confident hitter. She's made many run backs so far. She's going to bang this one back. I think some skips would prefer to follow that draw. Even if you end up sort of a foot or two high of it. As long as there's no real easy double angle. But she barely thought about it. She's made quite a few of these already this game. Quite a few tougher ones as well. Doesn't even really need to stick this run back. Just make that yellow rock go away. Jesse Hunkin for Team Silvernagle's last rock in the 8th end. Out-turn run back. Looks pretty close. Boom, boom. Makes it happen. 3 red rocks remain in the rings. It'll be a draw for 1 to force an extra end for Team Sturmay. Going with the out turn. Sweeper's on this right away. Looks like good line for backing. There's the snap. And guides it in. Nice throw, nice brush. That's a tie game, headed to an extra end here in Beaumont.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
A look at the Beaumont Curling Club from the away end. Only 1 game left on the ice, and it's our game. Extra end between Team Silvernagle and Team Sturmay. They'll let the scraper make his way across the ice. Nice center guard to start things off. A little high, but you got to imagine they're going to throw 2 of them. Christy Moore started off really strong, kind of let her draw weight slip in the 6th and 7th. We'll need this to rest above the tee line, if nothing else. And with no action from the sweeper, that might be in danger. Not a great result. Took it right to the back 8, but it's going to be an open draw for Paige Papley. I thought they'd throw 2 center guards, but with that backing, looks like the temptation is just too strong. Oh no, we can see the broom in a 3-guard zone kind of area. Tough for me to know. I just can't quite make out what they're saying, and looks like I was right. 2 center guards. Gotta think that's the play. Especially with how well Team Silvernagle has been throwing runbacks. Need more than 1 guard against a team like that. They were sweeping for line, but now they want this one to sit as well. Geez, you really can't make a wall behind the 4-foot like this. Oh, and that's what's going to happen. So not a great end for Christie. And this is such a huge shot. To get a good one here, to defend for the rest of the end, this very well could be the stone you steal with. Very important to put this in a good spot. Top button, top 4. This as well as heavy. This intern side giving people a lot of trouble, and that's right through the rings. That's not going to do. Really big opportunity missed. The end was playing out very, very much in Sturmay's favor. Christie Moore, a single peel. Gets the high one out of the way. Now, even if Sturmay makes a good draw, there's going to be a shorter run back, about a 6-foot run back, 7-foot, that the Jessies have been making all game long. Bit of a discussion here. Another guard or come right in? I think she's saying if we put it where we want, there's going to be a pretty easy, not easy, but makeable run back attempt, and coming right into the back 4-foot is not a bad thing. Getting a freeze back there, making sure that your stone's going to be tough to remove. So it's going to be a draw around. As long as the line's good, it's okay if this comes a little deep. This was light and over curled. So even if they were trying to throw another guard, that's a miss. This double peel, pretty makeable. Throw anything on the high side of this, and both those rocks are going away. That's going to be on the high side. Bam, bam. Ooh, that did not move as much as I thought it would. That's a factor. That's going to be in the way of an outturn draw path. So, made shot, but not perfect. In turn now. Nice center guard. Puts it right where they need it. Jesse, not loving that that other guard is going to try to send this into it. I'd be afraid of this stuffing. Gets one. Oh, our camera froze. Apologies, folks. Sometimes that does happen. The internet connection gets a little clogged up. So I'm not exactly sure how that went down, but she does get rid of those two stones. It will be another guard. Last stone for third rock thrower, Danielle Schmiemann. Had a little trouble earlier in the game keeping her throw consistent, staying on line, but seems to have really ironed that out with two really nice guards in the extra end here. Another peel. Another make. Really nice game for Jesse at third for Team Silvernagle. Has rarely missed her hits. I don't think she's missed a peel yet this game, actually, now that I'm thinking back. Likely one more guard coming down the ice. Eventually you're going to see a freeze on that back red. Only other option would be to make that freeze now. Hope that Silvernagle's team hits it. It sticks around in the forefoot, and then you guard that one. But I think this is ice for a guard. There would have been some discussion. No broom tap necessary. Sweeper on this right away. Trying to hold the line, or is this a freeze? Are they coming in now? Yeah, it looks like it. They are choosing to make the freeze now. Let's see how well they can make this. Looks like they're going for weight. Gotta go hard. Can't leave any room here. About 2 feet of room. That's going to be an easy hit. Wonder if Jesse Hunkin will be tempted into clearing any of the reds in the back. Of course, the risk there is that it might jam. Routine rip. Jesse Hunkin. Make this yellow go away. Once again. The only shot like that she's missed was a potential shot for 5 in the first end. That was about 2 hours and 40 minutes ago. Freeze attempt number 2. This looks heavy, trying to get it to curl. It's coming in. Will it slow up? It will not. Just real heavy. Not good enough. Team Silvernagle will not have to throw their last stone. That will make the final, I think, would be 6-4. There's 2 red stones in there. Team Silvernagle moves on to the A qualifier. Team Sturmay drops to the B. We'll have much more curling. 2 draws remain tonight from Beaumont. Lots of options on Curling Zone. I hope you had a good time with me, folks. My name's Rory McCusker. We'll see you back on here in about an hour's time for the next draw. Take care.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.